Hi, I'm Jamie. My thing's going to play music. Hold on. I forgot to mute my tab. That's bad. Hi, I'm Jamie. Welcome to Sci-Fi.
Professionals.
Yeah, I know. Welcome to Sci-Fi Vision for March 2nd. This is our normal show, School Spirit Split River Keys, but this is also the first edition of our Sci-Fi Vision Spotlight, which is obviously on school spirits. And we have special guest Alex Zahara, who plays Principal Hartman. I keep wanting to say Martin by mistake. Principal Hartman. But welcome. Thank you. But thank you for coming. We appreciate it. Of course, my guests are my co-hosts Scarlet and Jenn. And if anybody has questions for Alex, you can put them in the chat, and we will ask them as we get to them. But yeah, welcome.
Thank you very much.
I guess to start out, ask the question I got to ask, which is what I said, just don't spoil it. Is there anything you can tell people to kind of get them ready for the finale?
Oh, well, let me tell you, it's big. It's crazy. There's so much going on. There's just so much going on. And like everything is sort of wrapping up and culminating and also sparking off to something completely new and different. So I'll leave it at that.
Because I had a question that said, give us 3 words to describe the upcoming School Spirits finale. Do you have 3 words?
Crazy, huge, wow.
Okay.
The last thing was a word. I don't know, but yeah.
You haven't heard anything about possible season 4, I assume, at this point.
Say that again?
I said, you haven't heard anything about a possible season 4, I assume.
No. I mean,
I figured I'd ask.
As the news trickles down, like we lowly actors in the cold north, we're here probably last. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. No, I get that. All right, Scarlet, you have a question?
Oh, sure. You want to start out? You want to start out with a fun one?
Sure, whatever. But at least the highlight of the year for me, the highlight of last season was Jennifer Tilly. I am not worthy. I am not worthy. So she was amazing.
let's start out with that. How was it working with her?
Oh, just like she's a ball of joy. Like, I loved working with her. Like she was always wanting to rehearse and, play with it and explore and, find stuff out and just personally so nice. And, you go to Crafty and say, hey, Jen, you want something Crafty? She goes, yeah, sure. What do you got? Or whatever, I'll come along with you, whatever, just super nice and just so wonderful to work with. And I can't say enough good things.
Do you have a favorite scene that you were with her in?
Oh, wow. We did a few good ones this year. Let me think here. Well, when we square off about stuff like over the school and running around the school, inspecting it, and like we're having a tete-a-tete back and forth, and like just the constant interaction, just like she's just there, like just almost haranguing my soul, like great. As she's attacking my soul, attacking me, and I'm like because like it's an extension of myself. That's why I really feel like as Hartman, it's like. The school is everything to him, right?
Right. I'll piggyback off of that question, Scarlet, if you don't mind. So I know you've worked with legendary actors like William Shatner in Aliens, Ate My Homework, and Tom Berenger in Lonesome Dove Church. What is one piece
Jennifer Tilly.
Yeah, and Jennifer Tilly too. But I've got some more. There's 2 questions, right? What is one piece of old school Hollywood wisdom that you've picked up from working with some of these icons?
Well, I'm going to tell you straight up. I'll give you one from Bobby Duvall. God rest his soul.
God rest
Robert
his soul.
Duvall. He when we worked together in Open Range back in 2003, we filmed this movie. So my wife's going to come with a cold pack because my computer's starting to overheat. I can hear it, so forgive me. Anyway, but back in 2003, we were doing a scene, and we were all locked up. I was chained like this, like hanging like in a chain hammock. We were these old West bad guys. Here she comes. My dear wife, Shannon. There you go. Just slide that under the computer so we don't fry the thing. But no, we were all locked up, and he was chloroforming us and putting stuff over our mouths. to knock us out. And you know, as a gunfighter, you know, whatever. And I just said, I wouldn't just like go down. So I just went, you son of a bitch, old man, you're dead. I'm gonna kill you. You're dead. You don't even know it. And he just takes the other one. Shut up. And he puts it up. One of the few times in my life I had fake facial hair because I was doing 2 gigs at once. I was doing an episode of Stargate and the movie at the same time. So my fake mustache comes loose and I feel it. And the camera's like right here, over here. So as he releases his hand, I passed out this way. You know, to hide the fact that my mustache had come off. Yeah, when we cut, he goes, "Hey, kid, you know, good improv. You keep that shit up." And like, slaps me on the shoulder. And, well, Robert Duvall's a good improv. You know, like, that was a good improv. You keep that shit up, and that's just it. I've always done that my whole life in the sense I've played true to the character. I didn't do that for ego. I didn't do that to give myself lines in the film. It was just like in the character. I was playing the moment, and like in the moment, my guy is not going to let this old bugger like, you know, chloroform me without going down with a fight. So that's the thing. I think from him I got be truthful to your character, be truthful to your work. You know, so
amazing.
Plus he spoon fed me tiramisu with his own fork or spork at one point. Yeah. I recommended a restaurant to him and his then fiance, I believe, who became his wife after that. And it was one of the final days of shooting, and I was walking past this restaurant. I wish I remember the name. I'm walking past this restaurant, and like literally right by my face, like right here, just bang, bang, bang. Like, geez, is somebody smacking on the glass, and it's Robert Duvall. And he's like,
"Oh wow."
I'm like, "Okay, come in." So I come in and he goes, Alex, you gotta try this tiramisu, best effing tiramisu. And I said effing, but he didn't say effing. Best effing tiramisu I've ever had. And he literally just, you know, scoop and shoves it right in my mouth. And, yummy. Never mind, I'm lactose intolerant. I'll just eat it, you know. I mean, when Bobby Duvall spoon feeds you a tiramisu with his own dessert fork and everything, you just eat it.
Yeah, absolutely. You just eat it. So that is
truthfulness. There you go. Truthfulness.
That was a great answer.
It was very cool.
Thanks.
Great story. I was going to say, you mentioned Stargate. That actually leads me to a good one. I dug this out and I pulled it up. Whoop! Okay. Oh, I didn't think about it going to go behind you.
Crap. Oh no, Jamie.
I can see the picture. Where is it? Where'd it go?
Maybe I can present it. I tried to do it and it went behind you, so that's it.
Okay, it's all right. Can you put it on your screen?
Yeah, I can, but I have OBS. It's hard to do it. This should work. Let me try this.
Okay, hang on.
Oh
yes, there you go. Great shot. Do you know, I came across that. I was going through my photos recently, and I actually came across that picture.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I was going to say, I probably gave you a copy back then. I usually do.
There you go. But it's on my phone. I take pictures of photographs, and I keep them on my phone all the time. That shirt, you know what? That shirt's got a big story behind it. I was at a party in Los Angeles years ago at the guy who voices Piglet at his place. And Robert Picardo was there and a bunch of other friends. And we went for a swim. And I hung that shirt up on the railing as I went in. Someone stole that shirt.
Oh, man.
Oh, no.
Well, wouldn't you? Look at that shirt. It's a great shirt.
All right.
My wife made me this one.
There we go.
Oh, I like that. I like the mic.
Works good for the show.
Yeah.
So there, I flipped it back. So speaking of that, because you did mention the other shows, what is like the show, I guess, that you're asked about or recognized the most for?
Oh, that's a tough one. That is a tough one because I've done a lot of different shows. Well, one show a lot of people talk about is Man in the High Castle recently because it's been on recently, and I played this German general in there, Oberfiel Oliver Diels, and quite a bit of that one. But the one the weirdest time anyone ever recognized me was, or whatever, like I was, we did Once Upon a Time, I played King Midas, and I was in this one episode, or actually three episodes. But the first episode had just aired, and I was flying to a convention somewhere in the States, and I was flying to, is it Dallas Fort Worth or Dallas Fort Worth? Dallas, thank you. So we're walking up to this, submarine sandwich place to get something to eat. And there's this guy chopping behind the counter, and he's got this massive knife, like just huge. And he goes, "Hey," and he pulls the knife up. You're the guy. You're him. I'm like, what? Like, what the hell's going on here? You was on the TV last night. You were that king guy. I'm like, yeah, oh yeah, that was me. Can I put my hands down? Like,
I was
anyway.
hoping you were going to say Robert Duvall came up.
Yeah.
Robert Duvall was
But then he had me sign. He had me sign I had nothing to sign. I had none of my bags with me, and so he had me sign a submarine sandwich wrap. You know, and oh, here you go. Thanks for not threatening me with the machete anymore. But anyway,
I thought you were going to say you signed his machete.
I should have. But I would have had all the sandwich goo on it. You know. So, but yeah, that was one of the weirdest ones. But I get recognized at the oddest times. So anyway, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I always know Stargate, but I should have went to the chat before, guys. Sorry about that. I'm so bad at this. Everybody, please like the video, hype it if you can, subscribe to SciFi Vision. It is always appreciated. And as always, I am bad at doing the promotion because I forget. But let's see. I was going to say somebody. Okay. Oh, Kimberly. This was before I meant to put it up. She said that Jennifer does a good job of playing a difficult person, and two of you play well off each other. So excellent. She's always rooting for your characters. That was Kimberly.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, it just sets up such a great dynamic in the show because like she's such a powerful character. Well, she plays such a powerful character, and like Jennifer's like a force of nature, like she really is. But you should see her when she goes full on commitment. I guess spoiler alert, like she's playing. There's something going on with her because there's ghosts. So you know, I'm not sure where everybody is in the program, but when she's occupied, let's put it that way, by somebody or something, like she went full tilt, like she just goes full at it, like the commitment that Jennifer brings to her work is just amazing, and like she can go from full on to like back to normal and then right full on again, and you know, it's just, she's so incredible. It's awesome. And then they really let us play a lot together and sort of like, you know, work out our own little things, and she'd have little ideas and I had little ideas, and they would all sort of weave together. And I mean, of course, based off the strong writing and the direction, and the producers are great. Like, you know, Nate and Megan and Oliver, and everybody's great. And Hannah's one of our main directors, and she's awesome. And so, and again, all the cast, all the students, like Christian, and maybe right, the little picture right there, Milo and everybody, they're so cool to work with and hang out with. And the green room's always fun. Matter of fact, it's a little crazy with those guys because they're always doing videos. I don't know if you've seen, I was in a TikTok video that Christian did, and like my wife just loves it and she's posted up. But these guys are constantly filming other things and doing stuff offset, and I'm like, how do you have energy? Like, I think I used to be like that, but I'm approaching the waxing part of the moon of my life, and I'm like, I just don't know if I have that much energy, man. Like, anyway.
Scarlet.
Oh, okay. So playing off of that, do you have any funny stories from the show? Any pranks people played on each other?
Oh, funny stories, pranks. I don't know about that necessarily, but just funny things that happen, weird coincidences. I was like, you know, in the library sequence, we go do speeches in the library, or like, you know, I address the students in the library, and we were sitting there one time, and this guy goes, "Hey, Alex, come here." The young guy worked on set. He was one of the, I think he was a production assistant. I can't remember. He goes, look at this. And there's like, you know, they fill the shelves up with various books they get from like, you know, wherever, right? And things. And there was a VHS tape, okay? VHS tape, for those who don't know, it's when you used to watch movies on this thing, big machine, you know, slide it in. Anyway, and it was of the 13th Warrior. And that is the first movie I ever did in my life. And I played, I always joked, I said, you watch, I'll play like, you know, Viking #3 with the spear, right? And I am credited in that movie as Norseman #3. So there you go. But anyway, he's sitting there and I'm like, are you joking? Are you for real? Like, you know, and it was obviously in some discount bin, and it had a price, like it was like, you know, however many dollars, and it was down to like 50 cents. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, awesome. And so I just sort of was looking around and just, it might have gone home with me. I don't know. I mean, maybe. And it might have ended up in my cousin's basement, and because he's an old school guy, he watches VHS. He's on the autism spectrum, but he collects all the old school vintage games and stuff. And so we popped it in one night while I was there visiting in Grand Prairie, Alberta, and played pool on this pool table in the background while we watched the 13th Warrior. And if you blink, you miss me because I'm in and out like a little bit. They changed a bunch of stuff, and they actually took there were 6 Vikings from Vancouver. We were all supposed to go over and shoot this big scene and whatever, and then they got fallen behind. They said, well, we'll take you up to not Campbell River, somewhere in the interior. We're going to do this other scene. Well, of course they didn't, and they just hired some local loggers because they're cheap, right? They didn't want to hire the real actors back. But apparently the story goes, all the loggers, they thought, oh, we're big movie stars, and they drank themselves silly, like threw up on the trucks and the vehicles, taking them out in the countryside to film. It was just a nightmare. So, but anyway, there you go. So that's my one little school spirits. Not the nursing of the show, but I'm like, oh, look at my own movie here. Wow, I'll steal. Well, you're gonna come get me.
Nothing.
But of the show, like, I mean, everybody always works so hard, and it's so much fun. Like, Christian and Nicole and everybody's great. It's one of those things where, like, I've worked in this business for 30 years, and there's not a single ass on the show. That's so rare, you guys. Like, everybody's so cool and so nice, and everybody has a great time. We all have a good time. You know what I mean? It's. I don't want to jinx anything. I'm knocking wood, but it's like the wonder show. It's been a gift for me the last 3 years. It really has saved my butt financially too. So thank you. There you go.
That's awesome. So speaking of like high school and the kids all being cool, I know you were in Riverdale, right? Yes, I loved Riverdale. So you got to deal with high school students and drama there. I was going to ask you, is there any drama, or do you think has ever been any drama on the show that you've witnessed with the kids, or which group of kid actors are more dramatic than the others?
Okay. I got to watch myself. I'm going to end up on a hit list. But I'll just say this. Riverdale was something completely different.
Okay.
This is enjoyable every time I go. It's a lot of fun. No egos. So
and
read what you will into that. I think there's a reason I got killed off in season whatever, because I didn't suffer certain people's behaviors very lightly. And during one episode, I very vocally exclaimed that the director's been trying to give us direction, and all these kids were on their phones and social mediaing and whatever, and the producers came over to me afterwards and said, thank you. And I said, no problem. Yeah, here's one for you, but most people don't know. I played on Riverdale. I played the voice of the Black Hood off camera.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Black Hood for a few seasons or whatever, like back.
You actually are an amazing voiceover actor. So I was looking through your website and I noticed some awesome voices that you've done that I did not realize that you've done. Even My Little Ponies, I knew exactly who Jackpot was from watching it with my daughters. And I didn't know that you did Shinzuki Tagasaki. Right. So if you were Principal Hartman and had to come over the loudspeaker and use one of those, ancient dark animated voices, what would you say in that voice?
Oh, I thought I'd be like, all kids report to the gym immediately and bring your souls. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's a lot of doing the voiceover stuff's a lot of fun. Like I first gig I ever did, first job I ever auditioned for voice, I booked it. And it was the Roswell conspiracies back in like 96 or 97. And I played the picture looks like Harrison Ford from Blade Runner. You know what I mean?
Oh,
with the
okay, yeah.
long coat, kind of muscular a little bit, but he's got the old white T-shirt on and stuff and the suspenders. But I thought there's no way I'm going to get cast as this because like it looks nothing like me or whatever. I was fit, but I wasn't like that guy. So I just thought I'm going to play it like a young John Wayne. I'm like, yeah, cracker, I'm on it. Looks like Thrope hasn't lost his taste for steak tartare. And they loved it. I booked it. I thought, oh my God, like, okay, right. Anyway, I ended up booking that and we did like 40 episodes or whatever. It went great, but it was like a cross between Men in Black meets the X-Files, where monsters of legend, like Banshee, werewolf, vampires, were actually aliens from outer space. And we were the unit monitoring them on Earth. Anyhow, it was really great. They had all kinds of stuff. We had like little VW bugs, like the Beetle, because the Beetle had just come back, and they would and they stand up and become walkers and like crazy stuff, Anyway, but we couldn't get they couldn't get a toy deal because Star Wars, the new Star Wars was coming out, and everybody was afraid that Star Wars was going to be a big hit and none of the other toys would sell. And then it did good, but it didn't do great, Star Wars. And this toys, the Jar Jar Binks and all that, the stores, the toys didn't sell. So we got canceled essentially because they couldn't get a toy deal. But our show was more successful. Like, it was the most successful like cartoon thing they had on the whatever network for years. So it was very disappointing because that could have been like a generational thing, you know what I mean? So anyway.
All right, let me go to Dieter here, who had said, thank you, Dieter, who wants to know what your favorite project is. We talked about stories from your favorite project,
Right.
but can you pick one?
Yeah, well, I mean, people always ask us, what are you most proud of, or what's the thing that I'll tell you, the single piece of TV or film I've ever done that I'm the most proud of is I did an episode of The Outer Limits called Tribunal, and it's a true story, based on a true story, rather. The showrunner, Sam Egan, is a longtime friend of mine. I'm very pleased to say his father survived Auschwitz, but his father's first wife and child did not. And I play the real life commandant of Auschwitz. And it's really heavy, very, parts of it are very heavy, but it's a piece of work I'm the most proud of because it keeps the memory of the Holocaust alive. And so that we don't, hopefully people learn from it and repeat the mistakes of the past. And that was the whole message of the entire episode. And there's a time travel thing involved, and it's really great poetic justice because this vicious commandant, he had actually escaped to the States and was a dry cleaner for years in the States, but he gets transported back in time, and I end up executing my own self.
I think I've seen that.
Yeah,
Wow.
very cool. But Jan Rubisch played that character, a gentleman from The Neverending Story and tons of other stuff. Saul Rubinek was in that episode. Lindsay Krause, amazing. Okay. And then one of my father's childhood friends' brothers, Alex Diakun, he's a local Vancouver actor as well, was also in that episode. And we had met a couple years before that doing a play at the Arts Club Theater, and he comes up and he talks like, "Hey, Alex, I'm Alex too. Hi, how are you? You got a dad named Zahara, Alex Zahara, lived up in Spirit River?" And I said, yeah. "Ah, yeah, it's my brother, was his best friend." And like, anyway, just the smallest of worlds, you know what I mean? So, but that piece of film's the most proud of. And I stayed friends with Leo Egan, Sam's dad, who was the survivor from Auschwitz. Like, I visited him at the Jewish Home for the Aging in Reseda, California. And he wrote Holocaust survivor poetry his whole life. And just, the bond and relationship we had with that was just amazing because, like, look at the goosebumps. Like, I mean, you see that, but I'm covered in goosebumps still to this day, remembering that, we just can't, especially, I hate to say it, but in the current state of world politics that's going on right now, we all should take a big step back and just go, hey, remember what happened in World War II?
Yeah.
So there you go.
All right. Well, I was going to say, since you talked about now your favorite, what do you want to do? What would be your dream to play?
Well, funny enough, I was saying I'm letting my beard and hair grow in and stuff because I'm doing a project coming up here. Young man who I've worked with before, Braden DeMorris Purdy, has written this. He directed Beyond the Woods, feature that I was in. And really good feature, really good job. And Braden and I were collaborating again on this, and we're bringing in, I hope about speaking out of turn, but she's already said she's going to do it. So Karen Konoval, who is quite well known, she played, if you know who she is.
Was in this too. That's right. She was in School Spirits too.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. She played the fortune teller. But she's renowned, an incredible actress, and her partner Tom McBeath. He's one of my long-term mentors. I did a play with him, the same play that Alex Diakun and I met in '94 at the Visit. It's called The Visit. We were at the Arts Club Theater. Anyhow, she's in it, and it's a sci-fi weirdness where, like, I'm on a quest because I have no memory, can't remember things. I'm trying to find things, what's going on with my life, and there's all these clues. Like, I've left myself clues about things. It's a little Memento-esque, I guess, in a way, but not really. And my nephew's traveling around with me. We're going all around the countryside in this RV. And not to give too much away, but there's a bit of a cloning aspect to it. And I better shut up at that. But I'm really looking forward to this thing. It's about a 40-page film. and it's one of 3 films that are going to eventually, I think, be linked together to form a feature. And I was just at the gym today. Like I get on the elliptical or anything, and I learn my lines. I've got like a full page monologue I have to learn. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's one of the few things that's got me excited, because it's been really slow business wise. I mean, if like the current state of the business is like, they shipped everything overseas. All the studios have shipped everything overseas, and Vancouver, we've only really been operating at about 30 or 40% of what we should be. Maybe it's picked up a bit more, but it's still pretty quiet. So, and then I got offered this. He came to me and said, "Hey, I've written this with you in mind. Take a look." And I was like, "Wow, that's the biggest compliment you can get, is someone saying I wrote this with you in mind." So of course I accepted, because I know he's good. He's a committed young man. And then looking at the material, I'm like, it's one of the best written things I've ever seen.
Is there anything?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, is there something though, like if you're thinking like far in the future that you haven't, been asked about, that you would choose to do? Sure. Like if you could think of something.
My fantasy project, because I'm still fairly good skin. I don't have a lot of wrinkles. If I shave the beard off, I look a good 10, 15 years younger, I'm told. So I would love to do, I mean, it sounds maybe funny, but I would love to do the stage play of It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh,
that'd be cool.
That would be really cool.
Sorry, a little June bug or whatever just dropped into my out of my curtain here by the window. I'm like, oh, okay, little bug just came by, so it's a sign. Anyway, I gotta catch him, because he's gonna hide somewhere. My wife's gonna freak out. But in all honesty, I'd love to do that. I would love to do that. It's a Wonderful Life is my favorite movie of all time. I just think it has so many good messages in it, and so many good stories to tell. And if you've never seen it, you really got to go watch it. And I went this year. I've seen stage versions of it before, but they did there's a radio a staged radio reading of the play, but it's a play of a staged radio reading of It's a Wonderful Life, set in the 1940s. It's really cool. And I went and saw it, and an old friend of mine, Kennedy Goodkey, was in it, and it was actually quite good. I was really surprised. Because you never know with like local drama, like the local theater companies, could get on, So, anyways, you're gonna love me, but I got to catch this bug because my wife's gonna freak out. I swear. Pardon me. If I get him, I'll show him to you. Well, look, here he is. Here he is. Oh, there he is. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Hang on. Oh, there he is.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Oh, we call them stink bugs here.
Oh yeah, that's what they are. They're stink bugs, and apparently you don't kill them.
Smash that.
You let them go, or you let him go or flush him, and I'm going to flush him. Pardon me.
Uh-oh.
I know it sounds
that
terrible. They're an invasive species.
Makes me sad.
Yeah, they're an invasive species from Japan, apparently, and they destroy our wildlife and whatever else in our woods, and then if you kill them, they stink. So,
yeah.
Anyways, there you go. So I'd love to do It's a Wonderful Life. My buddy Devin Whipple and I'd love to do it. Or it's another one, Arsenic and Old Lace, the play, and the movie with Cary Grant. I was just watching North by Northwest on Turner Classic Movies recently, but my buddy Devin was in Arsenic and Old Lace, and he played like the cop. He played one of the old man looking to rent a room, and the parson. Anyway, here's a sign of a good actor. Like there's so many great actors out there that you don't hear of and know because they just do community theater and whatnot. Well, my buddy Devin was a drama teacher for years. He and a film teacher. He just retired. I kid you not. I'm in my hometown. I'm sitting down. I'm watching this play, and this old guy comes walking in looking for a room. Well, after about 15 seconds, I literally said out loud in the theater, "Holy shit, it's Whipple!" Because he changed his entire physicality changed, and his voice changed, and I've been friends with him since grade 7, and I didn't recognize him. That's a good actor. There you go.
Do you teach as well? I read somewhere that I thought you also teach acting classes, right? I
do. Like my buddy Dan Payne and I, and Sarah Jane Redmond and Kai Erickson, we started a class we were teaching here, but I sort of stepped back because I hate to say it's so slow. Everybody's teaching, so it's like hard for students and maintaining stuff. So luckily, my buddy bought a house, and it's a 100-year-old house, and I've been helping him renovate it for the last year or so here. So we took it back to the studs, like, you know what I mean, and then rebuilt walls and everything. So I kind of did that and let Dan and Sarah and others do the acting, and I'd come in and, you know, substitute every once in a while. And I taught at Vancouver Acting School for a bit, and I do a lot of I used to do a lot of coaching and stuff. But it's one of those things where I really got to be these days. I got to know the person, and I got to enjoy it with them, because I just find that maybe I'm getting old and grumpy or whatever, but I just find that the knowledge level and the education level is just diminished so much over the years that, like, I'll coach people now, they won't even know meanings of words. And I'm like, well, how are you supposed to play the character if you don't know what the words mean that you're saying, you know? And they're like, they sort of just like, it just kind of goes over their head. Like, well, what do you mean? Like, I said it good, didn't I? I mean, yeah.
I said it good. Oh my gosh.
I
can't, the grammar. I'm a language teacher. The grammar makes me tweak.
Oh, I know. Like, literally, I coached this person years ago, and they had confused the scene entirely. It was this was years ago, man, but it's the best example. It was for like a Painkiller Jane. And you know, she was a Marine and, you know, special forces and all this stuff. And this woman was auditioning for this part, and I said, well, you're supposed to be like a Marine, a special. And she literally turned to me and said, Alex, I don't know anything about running a marina, so I'm going to play it the way I want to play it. I'm like, what?
Oh my gosh.
She thought Marine meant marina, like this woman ran a marina. I said, there's no boats in this show. There's nothing that it.
That's like a really huge
mistake. And I'm like, did you not read the script? Like, do you see her in Afghanistan or wherever with her machine gun and all her troops, and now she's back home here? Did you not catch that at all? Yeah. So it's gotten tough. I mean, I'm not saying it, whatever, but I've got 7 years of post-secondary education, a high school diploma before that, 7 years of university and college level courses, and I've read a few books in my time. So, you know, I'm just dumbfounded at. I would say that when I teach class, and I go, you see this thing? You've got the world information at your fingertips. There is no excuse for you not knowing every word and meaning of everything and what your character wants. If you come into work with me and you don't even know meanings of words, get out. There's the door. So I've stepped back a bit because I'm a little grumpy these days.
Sounds like
I think I would have just laughed at them. It would have been rude, but I probably would have laughed at them.
I know, but what do you do? Hey, like, what do you do? Like, people show up for coachings and they don't even know what the meaning of Marine.
That's
like
crazy.
That's
sad.
I swear they were in my class.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm old school, and I just believe that if you do this, like, you know, you have all your information out, like who, what, when, where, why, like you work everything out. What are your goals, the objectives? You know, what are the beats? You have it all worked out, and then you forget about it all and just let the character do its thing. But it's all in the background, fueling you, pushing you forward. But if your tank is empty because you didn't do any research, you're stalled right here. You're just flat.
Speaking of kids that are stalled and flat, can I ask you a question? So as an acting coach and a teacher, what advice would you give the school spirit kids since they're like stuck and hung up about like crossing over their past?
Well, that's a good question.
Like the actual characters. It just like kind of, sorry.
You know, no, it's good.
They're like, they don't have anything to fuel them forward. They have their keys. They can't go through though.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's, you know, my grandpa passed away and then came back.
Oh,
for real. And he said this. He said that his father had taken him by his hand and they were walking into the light together, and he knew his mother was in the light. So I would say this: trust whatever's coming and keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. Because I believe the universe puts you, and I mean this in life, puts you in the same scenario again and again and again until you make a new choice and go down a new path and take a new direction and learn something new. There's no safety in the loop. There's no safety. And there's no safety. There's no value, really. There's no what's the thing? Adventure. There's no fulfillment, because if you're just stuck on repeat, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'd
You're
say
just going around in circles and not going forward. Yep.
eventually everyone's going to have to move forward, because I don't think I do believe in some sort of an afterlife of energy of some kind. I had a couple ghostly experiences, and I've literally had physical things move in my presence, lights burn out. I could tell you stories for days, and I've seen like ghostly apparitions. So that being said, I know there's something beyond this mortal coil. So I think we need to move forward and find it. And that's what I tell them.
I have a similar question.
Sure.
If you were a ghost, what do you think your key would be? Because like Maddie has her necklace.
I sounds funny. Probably this cup of tea right here.
Oh yeah.
I'm a tea junkie. You ask my wife. I've had this stein for like probably 20 something years. She used to have like the sign of the Star Wars, rebel insignia on it, and it's worn off. She put it on for me. But I mean, seriously, I'm synonymous with cups of tea. So I'd probably have a cup of tea as my thing for sure.
That's cool. That's a good question.
Yeah, it is.
Because that's not a cup. That's a stein. That's a mug.
Bigger mug. I was gonna say, go ahead, Scarlet. I think we talked more, so you asked something.
Okay, I'll do another school spirits question.
Sure.
Principal Hartman is rocking out to Joe Jackson stepping out with Wally in season 1, or as much as he can rock out.
Yeah.
What bands or stories do you think he listens to in order to get pumped up, or does he just listen to self-help recordings?
Well, Principal Hartman and I are about 2 microns apart in reality. Okay, like that was one thing when I auditioned for this. They let me improv and play and have fun, and a lot of the stuff in the opening, like the speech is there, but they let me improv a lot of things and just go with it and whatever. Principal Hartman. Sorry, I'm kind of forgetting. Repeat your question again. I'm off on a tangent. Sorry.
Oh, that you're rocking out the Joe Jackson stepping out in season 1 while it comes up. Like, what bands would you think that he could listen to pump himself up?
Well, we're both children of the 80s. That's all I'm going to say, meaning we had that vintage. So Joe Jackson, the Ramones, Iggy Pop and the Stooges, Devo.
Devo.
Big Country. Let's see who else.
Big Country's good.
Oh, yeah. I actually partied with Big Country after a concert one night. I had beers with Big Country. I kid you not. It was the best.
That's so cool.
And then I saw Iggy Pop a couple times, many times. And one time in the Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton, he was on the a Wild Child tour, and he just finished like Wild Child, that one.
Yeah.
And the music came down. And I was sitting up in the nosebleeds, and he was down here, and I'm way up in the nosebleeds, and I got a big voice. I yelled, "Iggy!" And he goes, "Thank you." And I'm like, "You acknowledge my existence. You acknowledge my existence." Anyway. But no, seriously, like I think Hartman was a really one of those kids that listened to alternative music and was a little bit, a little geekish and whatever, as I think I was too, as a lot of us were. But I mean, I also in high school, I ended up becoming the president of part of we were divided up into different like clans. We had a very native themed school, and I was the leader of the Cree tribe. And back in the day, not politically correct these days, I know, but back in the day, it was all for fun because it's minus 40, 45 degrees most of the time in the winter. And we would have all these games, like, events in the gym or whatever to keep the kids from going stir crazy. Right. So anyway, I think that's the music he'd listen to, along with like Flock of Seagulls, Men Without Hats, obviously goes with that. So, Midnight Oil and Men at Work.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm done.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Where were you that it was 45 below outside? What city?
I grew up in Grand Prairie, Alberta, which is about 12 hours that way over my shoulder. It's like if you've ever heard of Jasper National Park, or if you look at a map, Calgary's here. If you're looking at the map, Calgary's here, and then you come up and Edmonton's here, and Jasper's here. And Grand Prairie's way up here. And in the winter, it can be 45 to 50 below, no problem. And the coldest weather I've ever been in, minus 65.
Jeez.
I was 4 years old, and we had an outdoor, like it was like we had outhouses in this little village we lived in of Woking, And literally, my mom's like, "Okay, we got to go to the bathroom." I don't want to go. You got to go to the bathroom. I don't want to go. It was bloody cold. Are you kidding me? So, anyway.
Yeah, that would not be fun. That's for sure. No. All right, let me take a couple from the chat here.
Sure.
B asks, are there any other famous high school principal roles that you've seen that inspired anything about the way you play Hartman? And also says, you're currently my favorite high school principal I've seen on TV or in movies. So there you go.
Thank you, Beehive Girl. Thank you. Very nice. Very nice. I appreciate that. Well, to be honest, like I've tried to keep him very, he is kind of, he's got a lot of issues, repressed issues, I think, because, you know, he's got to juggle all these balls and stuff like that. And I based him partially on my past principals, because most of my principals were really good guys, you know, and gals, forgive me. But, funny enough, a gym teacher I had, Jim Telfer, I've sprinkled Jim in there too, because he's got the mustache and Jim had the big stash. So, but yeah, no, and then obviously I get compared a lot. Like when this used to be more ginger colored, because it was, I used to get compared to the Ferris Bueller's principal, Jeffrey Jones, a lot, because we both have kind of big eyes and stuff. So, you know, I get that. I'm not playing another character. Like I'm not basing him on anybody else. I'm basing him on the script, what I believe his needs and wants and goals are, plus a little amalgamation of real people that I know, like, you know, and you also know, like, he's a principal, he's got to be doing certain things, right? You know, and so there's a code to it hereby. So yeah, I'd say I mix them all up, and that's the other thing too. As actors, we're sponges, so we absorb everything from everywhere aspect, and I think it's like a cocktail. And then you shake your cocktail up, you've got all the information, you pour out the drink, and there's your Principal Hartman. Enjoy. And Beehive Girl likes the taste of Principal Hartman's character, so there we go.
The second part of this you already asked, but Kimberly said, if you were able to see the ghost world, what character would you like to interact with?
Oh, well, that's a difficult one. In the show, I think, well, on a professional level, probably Mr. Martin, because we're both colleagues and whatnot. And, you know, if you haven't noticed, do you notice he and I both have sweater vests? There's something going on there. You know what I mean? And then when we, I don't know if you've seen it all, but then when there's the fantasy sequence with the bus and everybody's singing and dancing. Have you seen that one yet?
Yes.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, they had,
I love that. That's our favorite.
yeah, they had Josh on one picnic table, me on the other picnic table, just like, you know, just dancing around. So I think probably Mr. Martin, because, you know, I'd like to see him get out of the school, because I wouldn't want to be trapped there either. Trust me, you know, like, but yeah, there you go.
Can I piggyback on that question, Jamie?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I do have a question. If Principal Hartman took mushrooms, what would his trip be like?
Oh, wow. That's a dangerous road to go down. I think if he took mushrooms, well, you know what? Like, hey, it was the 80s. That's all I'm saying. Okay. I think he's such a straight-laced guy. I think, not drawing on my personal experience at all, bullshit. I think he might have panic dreams of his for the first time taking mushrooms, having his mother come up and go, "How could you?" and then disemboweling him with a big knife.
Oh my God.
That didn't happen to me at all. No. And then my dad didn't come up and do that either, or my grandma, or my grandpa, or all my uncles and aunts.
Jeez.
I know, right? Well, I was such a straight-laced, good little boy, and then I met the wrong kids, and, you know, one weekend I tried a little something, and I think that was probably something that would have happened to him, because he's so straight-laced, right? You know, so as was I. I was a good little boy until that weekend, and then that scared the shit out of me, and I never did anything again. So.
You've obviously had a really fun time on the show, but is there anything that was difficult? Any part of it?
Anything was difficult. First thing is no. I kid you not. No. What was difficult was waiting when the strike was on and all that, and not knowing if we're coming back. That was difficult. Like, you know, because it had been really quiet. Like between, you know, COVID and the strike, and, you know, all the different things that happened, like the 2 strikes. You know, it was really difficult work-wise, and you're like, oh, come on, you know. Because it's, you like to make a living. I've made my living primarily acting, but in the last 5 years, it's been very difficult, because everything's just been so slow and there's been so little work going on. So the waiting has been very difficult. It's been like, oh, come on, like we were supposed to go and then we got delayed by the actor strike, and then we got delayed by the writer's strike. And, that was the hardest part. There's nothing difficult on that show, period. I mean, really, and I mean this sincerely. Stargate was the best show to work on. It was a super family-oriented show. In terms of everybody was like a big family on there. Awesome. They would write stuff with myself and Deion Johnson in mind, and we'd come and play their aliens once or twice a year and blah, 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 big, lizard men, and have fun. This is the same thing like that. You'd have a lot of fun. It was a very happy-oriented set. It really is. It's a very happy-oriented set. Everybody on it's cool. Everybody's nice. There's just, knock wood, there's no weak link. There's no ass. So yeah. Yeah,
I feel like that's really good. So, as Principal Hartman, and looking back at your career and all the shows you've done, which one would you give a hall pass to or assigned attention to?
Oh, which of my characters, you mean?
Yeah, all your characters. You just mentioned this, and this is such a good show. So let's pretend you're Principal Hartman. Which characters that you've played? Because we've seen you in a lot of different things.
All the Nazis get
detention.
All the Nazis get detention. There you go.
Gotcha.
I played that's the thing. I speak a bit of German. I took it as a language requirement. Plus, I'm the blonde-eyed, blue-haired Aryan race poster boy here. So I mean. Well, no, because I've played a lot of Germans. I
was going to ask you about that, because there are a lot of them.
I have played a lot. I played like half a dozen Germans, and one was the I can't remember his name right now, but he was in Riverworld. He was the inventor of he designed the Hindenburg, he designed the blimps, right? But I played a lot of Germans because I think when I walk in, I do my, wie geht's, mein Name ist Alex, wo kommst, ich komme aus Deutschland, Canada, ich habe eine Freundin aus Deutschland. And then when I start speaking, people are impressed that I actually know the language. And well, real quick story here, but they hired a language coach for me for, A Man in the High Castle. And the woman was so, your voice is perfect, everything is good, you do not need me. I said, well, don't say that because you'll be out of a job. And I said, there's going to be some words that come up that I won't know. So, I mean, you just stick around, right? Whatever. But no, I mean, that's just it. I think I would get detention to all the bad guys, and then hall passes would go to like the good guys, all the sweet young people I've played, or the sweet good people I've played, all the good aliens from Stargate, they get a hall pass. The bad aliens, they get detention, So
Black Hood gets detention.
Black Hood gets detention, big time. Yeah, he's not nice.
No.
But real quick sidebar, Do you want to hear a real ghost story?
Yes.
For real? I mean, this is absolutely for real. So my dad's aunt passed away back in the 70s at some point. I don't know. I was like 8, 9, 10 years old, somewhere in there, maybe a little older. Anyway, but I think she'd had Alzheimer's, or they didn't know it was Alzheimer's back then, and she was a bit kooky, and she wanted to see me and my sister Margot and all the time or whatever, but I think she was maybe violent or something, so they weren't sure about bringing the little kids around. I think I shouldn't say that because I'm not sure, but I'm guessing. Anyway, she dies. We don't go to the funeral because we're still kind of young and whatever. And my parents went. Well, I was home alone doing laundry, like organizing laundry one day, and I'm get the basket in we have a pretty large bathroom, and there were 4 lights up here. Like there's 4 little lights, and all of a sudden one light starts glowing and glowing and glowing. And I'm like looking up, going, what the heck? And all of a sudden just goes shoo, like a sun, wham, and burns out. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? And at the same moment, we had a 2-tiered sink, and we had a nail brush sitting on this upper tier, and it falls, boom, to the lower tier. And then we had a soap dish and 2 faucets here, and that thing slid across the sink, up into the soap dish, over and down the other side. Blah! I lost my shit. I just ran out of there, ran out of the house, ah! And I get outside, and I'm losing my little, prepubescent mind, and I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? Anyway, and then, okay, we had a porch, like this, and then the kitchen was on this side of the house, and then the back of the house, the first window back about 10, 15 feet was off the porch was the bathroom window. So I kid you not, I looked around the corner, just right around the corner of the porch. I looked like that, and we had a green curtain in there, and there was this little old lady's face looking out at me.
Oh nope.
Yeah.
Yep. It would have been.
And I just like,
right out of there.
So get this. So I stay outside. My parents come home and they're like, "What's going on?" And I tell them the whole thing. And Dad's a maintenance guy at the college, and it must have just been a burnout. I said, "No, the thing crawled in the little lady, you know." Anyway, but he asked me. He said, "Describe her to me." And guess who she looked like?
Your aunt.
Your aunt.
Wow,
Yeah.
creepy.
So that was creepy. But it continues real quick. Next time I'll make this fast. So I'm doing laundry again by myself down at the laundry at the washing machine. And Dad had put 2 wooden struts on the washing machine because it would get offloaded and go for a walk, right? So we put these 2 struts on it, and I'm put the lids up against one strut, and I'm throwing pants in, and I throw some jeans in, and the lid slams shut, and I think, well, the jean leg must have caught on the lid, right? I kid you not. I reached out, bam! The lid popped open by itself. And then does this. Bang, 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 bang. By itself. And I scream, "Daddy!" And Dad comes running downstairs because he can hear this racket. He comes into the utility room, and it's still going. But as soon as he entered in, bang, 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 boom, and it stopped. But he saw it going. He saw it moving by itself.
Oh.
And I'm crying, and he's like, "It's okay. Come on, we'll go up here." Okay, skip ahead another week or so. This has happened about a week apart. This is the last thing. I'll wrap it up. So we're sitting around the family dinner table. Well, we're sitting around the family dinner table and having dinner, and we're talking, whatever. All of a sudden, smash right in the cupboards where the plates are and the dishes, like something smashed. And my dad says, her name was Mary Sandal, I believe, and he says, "Auntie Sandal, we know you're here. It's okay. You can stay as long as you want. Just don't scare us anymore, okay? You're welcome. We love you. You can stay forever, but just don't scare us anymore." And he goes over the cupboard. We open the cupboard up. The top plate on the stack of plates was shattered into a million pieces, just shards. But after that, nothing ever happened again.
Oh,
That would creep me the hell out.
Well,
yeah.
So, and here's the other thing. I grew up partially in a town called Spirit River.
Oh.
Wow, that's really close.
I know, isn't that weird?
Almost
And
too
the
close.
Split River. And I told there's so many weird coincidences. I told the authors or the writers that, and they're like, "Get out." I mean, no, look it up. And north of Grand Prairie, about 40 miles, Spirit River. So, yeah. But I mean, so I believe in ghosts. I believe in spirits. And that's why it's been a pleasure working on this, because I do think there's stuff out there. Like the universal law, they say, like, energy is conserved. It's not destroyed or wasted. So our energy gets converted when we move on into some other form of energy. And the fact is, I'm not alone. And there's lots of people that have had, ghostly, or I would say energetic encounters, and that's for real. There are multiple witnesses. My entire family witnessed it. The one time I was mostly alone, and that's something the poltergeists are, they tend to gravitate to young kids. And yeah, so there's no denying me that there's something beyond our mortal coil, for sure.
Mm.
Do you think that Principal Hartman has seen a ghost or anything supernatural happening in Split River?
Do you know what? I would love to see that come up in the script somewhere. I would love to see that come up in the scripts. That, like, as a kid, maybe he saw something because he went to that high school or whatever, right?
Oh, he did? Because the ghost.
That's what I play for myself. That's what I've written for myself.
When the ghost recognize him?
Well, who knows, right? Well, they always call me Hartman, right, or whatever,
Oh, yeah, it's true. Wally seemed to be like, "Hey, take it,"
Yeah, and that's the thing. Maybe Wally and I were sort of buddies back then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
So I mean, that was my era. Like I was born in 67, and so when I graduated in 1985, they were talking about Wally's character or whatever. The character Wally. I said, "Hey, watch your dates there. I think you got the dates wrong, because if he's however old, he would have graduated in 85 or not 84 or whatever it was." And Oliver Goldstick goes, "Hey, good catch, Alex." And because they were out by 1 year. I can't remember which way or the other. So, but we could have easily been, or I was a grade below him, maybe. You never know.
Yeah. Do you create a backstory for yourself?
Oh yeah, you have to. Yeah, you got to write all that stuff up. And my backstory is I went to that school and whatever else. And I did say like I was like like he was a year ahead of me and whatever. And I didn't so I didn't really know him, but whatever. So yeah, and it's possible maybe he had ghostly encounters if you're alone at night in the school working on the class play or whatever, and in the theater, and that light keeps coming on or whatever, So yeah, wrote a lot of stuff up.
That's amazing.
I just want to interject really quick because I forgot to say it at the beginning. I see we have, it looks like some new people here tonight. So I'm putting our Discord link. Give me errors. Discord link in the chat. If you haven't joined our Discord, please make sure you do, because we do all kinds of things like watch parties and our schedules there and all that for our show. And for anybody who doesn't know, yeah, we do games too. And for anybody who doesn't know, our normal School Spirits show is on Thursdays at 11 p.m. on the same channel. We're doing the finale on Thursday.
Ooh.
So
okay, it means I got to binge watch. I got to binge watch.
Yeah, I got to rewatch it, right? Oh, I just gotta say, I shouldn't say it, but I loved the finale. It was crazy.
She's watched it. I'm
being nice and being quiet.
Am I not right? It's just like nuts, eh?
Yes. Yeah. I think the right before it was nuts too, but it's even more nuts. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
James, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna try to push the School Spirits bingo that we're gonna be doing in the finale watch party.
There you go. Do the
Anybody
bingo
who does it can do bingo, and I do have Principal Hartman saves the day right in the dead center.
There you go. Awesome.
My prediction for the finale.
Well, here's one for you. Speaking of stuff, you see this painting back here? See that painting? I'm going to show you something. So my grandmother taught school in a one-room schoolhouse for 35 years. And this painting is not quite it. There's a different one elsewhere, but this is by the same artist, I believe. But this was like my grandma was taken to school in a wagon and or a sleigh in the wintertime by my grandfather most of the time. And she taught, like I said, taught school for 35 years in a one-room schoolhouse. So she taught kindergarten to 12 at the same time. And up in Canada, like if you do top marks, like if you score really high, you get what's called the Governor General's Award. Well, she had 5 students get the Governor General's Award. There's the artist that painted this painting and went on to become quite a well-known artist, Anne-Marie Truant. She was on the spectrum, and they didn't know what that was back then, right? So she taught to the strength of the students, and like she loved, like Anne-Marie couldn't remember when her birthday was, but loved Valentine's Day. Well, Valentine's Day was her birthday, but my grandma would teach her and let her like express herself through painting, And they sent an inspector to check out this one-room schoolhouse of this woman giving away all these marks and stuff. Well, we have this glowing report from this, the nationwide inspector saying like this woman taught like to every student's abilities. She was amazing, blah, blah, blah. Well, those 5 students went on to be like, in government, high-position lawyers, et cetera, blah, from this tiny little Lake Saskatoon schoolhouse in the middle of the prairies, in the middle of the frozen West. That's dedication. And that's what I try to bring with Hartman, is that thing is he's so dedicated to the kids. This is where the kids get the foundation and to build their lives. And I had a great teacher that said, you may have an experience in my class that sends you down the path you're meant to be on for the rest of your life. And it just sends you and shoots you there. But if you miss that, you may miss that opportunity and it may never come again. So I was like, that scared the shit out of me. So I never missed a day of class.
I was going to say, I have no idea who was going next. We've kind of gone out of order at this point. But what did you teach? No, you're good. You're good. So one of you, do you have something, Jen? I can't see Scarlet. So.
Well, I'll say one thing real quick, if you don't mind. Sukumar Nair was that teacher that I talked about who said that. And he's like 94, 95. He still writes a weekly blog. He was the most inspirational drama teacher I ever had in my life. And real quick connection, the movie To Sir With Love, where Sidney Poitier stops the tuna fish can and he gets cut. And the kid goes, cool, look, his blood is red, right? Well, that's based on a real fact because E.R. Braithwaite and Sukumar were friends. in England, and they couldn't get jobs in the field because they were men of color. And ER became a cop, and they were walking one day, and a kid threw a Coke bottle and hit Sukumar in the head, and he still has this tremendous scar. And the kid goes, "Cool, look, his blood, it's red." And ER put that in the book and in the movie.
Oh.
So anyway, that Sukumar is one of the most inspirational mentors I've ever had in my life. There's the goosebumps again. There you go. But yeah, so teachers can be so inspirational and so great, and they can also be a pain in the what. But anyway, mostly inspirational.
I was just gonna say, B said that her favorite thing is that Hartman's so passionate about making sure the school doesn't get razed. So
exactly, because that's some kids. This is all they have. That's the foundation. School is their sanctuary, right? Like this is the school system helps them survive because their families are so chaotic, right? And without the school and the structure and the inspiration from it, those kids are lost. And that's what I play with Hartman. That's my thing with Hartman.
Scarlet, are you in now? Maybe you go before you get knocked out again. Disconnected. Go ahead now, something, and then if you get disconnected again.
Okay. The season of School Spirits has a Stephen King horror type theme. If you had to live in a horror movie, which one would it be and why?
Oh gosh, that is such a tough and weird question.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I would. Okay, if I had to live in a horror movie, Jesus, that's tough. Okay, I'm going to say the first thing that pops to mind is The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing.
Ooh.
I love that movie. I would be Kurt Russell's character because that's the only way to go, baby. But yeah, that's the toughest question I think I've ever answered in my life, because you have to live horror. But I mean, yeah, that he's saving mankind. He's stopping, him and Childs at the end. They're still not sure who's who, or so yeah, I don't know. And other horror stuff, geez, I don't know. What would you live in? What would you live in?
I probably live in the Wicker Man or Midsummer.
Okay. And hopefully not be a guest. Horror. Yeah. And not be a guest,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, my favorite show is Yellow Jackets too, so I mean, I got a kind of a theme. I like
maybe I'd be Jaws. I'd like to play Chief Brody. There you go.
Oh yeah.
Smile, you son of a bitch.
Let me bring up here. Mandy Jordan says, branching off that, what was it like working on Final Destination Bloodlines?
Oh, it was awesome. Again, one of those Bloodlines is a film like the TV series that you get like a family. It was the best experience. They they brought us in for rehearsal. That's one thing. You don't get any rehearsal anymore these days. And especially you usually just show up on set and you run the lines a couple times and we film, right? But this, we had like about a week's worth of rehearsal, and I had I think 2 or 3 days with the family, and we were rehearsing the family scenes, and we would, go through all the stuff, and they'd be writing, and the writers were there, and they'd be writing, and Adam and Zach were there, and the producers, and then we would say, okay, they would do this one and just improv, whatever comes up, just based on what we've done. And so we would improv stuff, and they'd be writing, and they'd go off at lunch, and they'd come back with new sides for us to go with, and okay, so that was beautiful. Bloodlines is amazing because it was such a collaborative, it really was what filmmaking is supposed to be about, is a collaborative effort, and everybody brought ideas and shared things and brought stuff together, and I'll be quite frank, that movie and that character is the closest I've ever played to myself ever. I have a dysfunctional family, big time, I am Uncle Howard. I really am. I'm not even joking. I'm Uncle Sandy to my friends' kids and stuff. Sandy's my nickname, but Uncle Alex, and I'm Uncle Alex to 25 of my friends' kids. And, I always believe in that. Let's make stuff good for the kids. Let's have fun. I play Santa every year for the kids. Shh, for the youngies out there, Santa's real. Trust me. Anyway, but it was really great playing it because it sounds funny, but and that relationship, the strained relationship with the sister, when we're sitting on the little swinging bench talking in Final Destination Bloodlines, that's my life. I'm literally drawing on real life experiences. And as we were rehearsing, I said, you guys have to understand, this is my life right here. What you've written, this actually kind of is my life. We had a very dysfunctional family growing up, and yeah, it was weird. that I got to play this character, and it was like art imitating life, life imitating art. And real quick, when they asked I was on the short list, I pretty much got it, but then the strikes happened and everything was delayed. When they came back, they said, like, can you give us a couple takes on this one scene? So I gave them 6 completely different takes on the scene. And I said, I didn't want to have any chance of not getting this role. So I did 6 different takes, completely different takes, and they loved them all. And we went with the more congenial, happy Uncle Howard, right? Because originally in the original script, he was supposed to have the house. He had a fun house for families to come and play games and have pizza and do stuff and have giant trampolines. It was like a business that he ran. And there was all this chaos and mayhem that would happen at the house. But I guess they couldn't secure. There's a exactly what I'm talking about, this sort of playland area up in Chilliwack, which is east of me. I don't think they could secure it or whatever at the time. So they switched it all and made us just have a really cool house with all kinds of stuff in the backyard. Yeah.
I wanted to ask, because I was a little confused. You said they let you do that at the audition? You did 6 different
once we booked
after you already got the part. Oh, okay.
Yeah, once we
I was going
booked
to say I would be surprised at the audition. I thought you said the audition. Okay.
Well, but during the audition, still in the audition process, they said, give us a different take on this scene. So I gave them 6 completely different takes. Like, I mean, there was nothing even related to it. So that they let me do that. But then once I got it and we went into the rehearsal process, they just let us improv and do stuff and just bring up whatever came up.
I just never heard anybody, like, I didn't know that you could give different, options at an audition. That's nice.
Oh yeah, for sure. Wait, it's like taking direction. Like if you're the director, Jamie, and you say, okay, Alex, that was great. But this guy's got some anger issues and whatever. That's why I played like Mr. Hartman, right? In the first, they said he had some repressed anger issues in the first thing. So when I was doing the opening speech, I'd just be like, quiet, I lost my shit at a couple points, right? And then they had me in the audition, but then they had me tone it down when we did the series, right? Because in the audition, I just lost my brain.
I'd like to see those takes.
Yeah, that would be
I'll
fun.
go check it out. I was just gonna say everybody's loving your stories. Just me says you're her favorite guest that we've had so far. So that's great.
Thank you very much.
We're agreeing. So it's been really fun. Sorry, Jen. Go ahead. I just want to put that up. Go ahead.
You've been a casting director. Now that you know what it is like to be on the other side of like the camera, the other side of the table when it comes to auditions, do you still get nervous, or how do you approach your auditions? Because you've done so much. You have such a huge range, and you've done so many things. And like I said, you've been a casting director. So how do you tackle an audition?
Well, you know what? It's interesting. You asked that because I don't think I ever. I mean this sincerely. It doesn't want to sound arrogant. It's not arrogance. It's confidence. I went to school and trained a lot, and I did a ton of homework before every audition. So I always looked like this: you go in, lay your best work down, and then just walk away and forget about it. That's what I did every single time. There's no hashing it over. Oh, I wish I would have done this, would have done that. Because if you're thinking that, if you remember, I always say this: if you remember what you did in your audition, you didn't do the right audition. Like, real quick story. I was in acting class in second or third year of our university training, and we were doing a scene from Hedda Gabler, this play. And our teacher was a really great teacher. We did the scene together, me and a scene partner. I played Judge Brack, and he's this guy he's a misogynist pig, and he's trying to manipulate Hedda Gabler and say like, well, Daddy's dead. This is Sweden in the 1800s. Daddy's dead, and if you don't do what you're told, and be my little toy, you're not going to get the estate, because it's still to this day, women in Sweden cannot inherit property directly or anything from their father. It goes to the eldest son first, and then maybe to a female. It's ridiculous. Stig Larsson, Dragon Tattoo books, that's what happened to him. He died. Him and his wife weren't officially married, and all his money and stuff went to his estranged father and brother. Wow. For real. So anyway, we did this scene, and JB goes, well, Mr. Zahara, that was shit. And he goes, you don't forget, it's not about what you feel up on the stage there. It's about what the audience is getting. And we didn't get nothing. He goes, do you want to try that again? And I go, yes, JB, I do. And I just like, oh, fuck, man. Turn around, and I kid you not, you guys, that's the second I became an actor. The walls went up. I could see the walls of the building I was supposed to be in. There's the goosebumps right there. I still get goosebumps after 35 years. And I could smell the gunpowder because she's been shooting these pistols. And I could see all the stuff, and the scene happened, and words were spoken, and things happened, and it was over. And he goes, "Well, Mr. Zahara, how was that?" And I said, "I couldn't tell you, JB." "What do you mean you couldn't tell me?" "I couldn't tell you because I wasn't there." Perfect. You remember that. We're moving on. And that's because I stopped monitoring myself. I stopped. There's always a piece of you that sort of would float above and sort of monitor my performance, like almost like watching me. That went away that day, and luckily has never come back. So I always prepare, and I go in, and like I lose myself because obviously people always said this too. How do you do a character? Well, I mean, I know we're kind of running along on time here, but
you're fine as long as you don't mind staying. You're
no,
fine.
I don't mind. But it's like driving a car. So when I create a character, it's like Alex Zahara. I get up in the morning, do my rehearsal. I get behind the wheel to drive to rehearsal because I'm the only one that has a driving license. But my trained actor self gets up in the passenger seat and starts going over the script and reading and whatever. Well, in the back seat is a pool of primordial ooze. And out of that primordial ooze, when we get rehearsing, is going to form a character. So when I get rehearse, I switch seats, and the character now drives the scene, or the trained actor drives the scene, and he's going through the script, and I just sit down and have a cup of licorice tea because it's my favorite. And all this, they go through rehearsal, all this happens, and slowly this character forms in the back seat. And as he becomes more solid and more real, boom, he jumps to the front. He drives the scene and goes down the path and the road that he needs to go in to get his objectives. The trained actor sits here with the script, and he grabs the wheel every once in a while and says, "Hey, buddy, what are you doing? Just stick to the road here." So he controls that. Me, I go to the back seat and I fall asleep. Alex Zahara, I get out of the way. So then my character leans back, puts his hand on my chest, and he borrows my heart, my soul, my emotions, and he filters them all. And if he's playing a Nazi, he's a bad guy, or he's playing an angel, a good guy, whatever. And he does his thing and goes after Romeo, goes after Juliet, gets what he wants. And at the end of the scene, or at the end of the day of filming, or the end of whatever, we all reverse positions. The character jumps in the back and goes into primordial ooze again, because tomorrow he could be a cowboy, he could be a pharmacist, he could be whatever. And I drive home again because I'm the only one that has a license. And then my trained actor sits there and has a cup of licorice tea on the way home. And then the next character, the next rehearsal, we all play those things again and move and change position. And yeah.
So it's kind of like the show Severance. Have you ever seen Severance?
Yes, it's very much like that. And a real important factor is at the end, he gives me back my heart, my soul, my emotions, like the character, because he's a construct. He's just not real. So, but he keeps all the stuff that he's used the soul for. He keeps all the weirdness, keeps the darkness, keeps the whatever. Mm-hmm. And then when I go to play him tomorrow or the next scene, it goes back into my soul and stuff. But he keeps all the weird shit so that I don't carry that around with me.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
A lot of people
can't. It works.
So good. Kimberly wants to know what kind of shows or genres you enjoy, meaning watching. I'm assuming she means.
Oh, God. Well, my wife and I are a bit of a couch potato sometimes. We love everything. Been watching Fallout. I really like Fallout. That the blending of the older technology but it's ahead of its time, but it still looks like the 60s and stuff, and just all the storylines we watch. Really loved all the Game of Thrones, all of them. We just finished watching the Night of the Seven Kingdoms, and like literally we're cheering for things, and I'm a softie at heart. Like I can be a grumpy old man at times, but I'm not a grumpy old man. I'm just an old man. No, just kidding. But we watch All Creatures Great and Small. It's a British series.
Nice.
I have a box. Where is it? Usually I have a box. Oh, here we are. Okay. I have to sit with a box of Kleenex next to me because I bawl like a baby.
Oh,
like you not. Yeah, exactly. See, Jen, exactly. I bawl like a baby. So we watch that stuff, and School of Spirits, of course, and we're a little behind on it and stuff because we wanted to finish. Don't like watch. Shannon likes watching a show and finishing it before she really starts another one. But I'm old school where Wednesday nights we used to watch Happy Days and Fridays was this and whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm okay with that. But I found in the streaming world we kind of forget where we're watching, and we have to write it down and go, what did we just watch there? Because You knew
Your
Friday. Mork and Mindy was on at this time, like Happy Days, The Love Boat, right? My genre growing up, So, yeah.
Let me ask, because if I don't ask it, I'm sure somebody else is going to come up with the chat.
I was going to ask it, Jamie.
Go ahead,
I was about to ask it. Go ahead.
Go ahead, you guys.
Oh, do you watch From at all?
Do I watch which?
The show From.
From?
From.
It's
a Canadian made show. It's made in your country.
It's From.
FROM.
Yes.
Yes.
You must take the 8-minute challenge. You must take the 8-minute challenge and watch it immediately.
Yes, you have to go try it. That's for most of us. That's why everybody asks.
I'm
Harold Pinoy's in it. Oh my gosh, I can't think of anybody's name now.
It's hard to Google though. You have to put like From TV show or something.
Yeah, From TV show MGM Studios.
Okay.
But yeah, it's with Harold Pinoy. It's a good show, but we kind of all met there online. That's why we asked.
What's the premise?
Horror, sci-fi, supernatural.
Okay, I'm reading it now.
Stuck in a town and can't get out. Like once you enter the town, you can never leave.
Yes, I've seen this advertised. This looks really good.
It is really good.
Yeah,
it's a buddy from Lost, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And these creepy smiley people, right?
Yeah. The one guy's name's Smiley.
Yeah, that guy freaks me out.
Yeah, Kimberly's right. There's like yes,
we've interviewed that guy.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Well, here's my connection. Here's my connection to Lost. My buddy Gordon. That's Evangeline Lilly is his niece.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and so I've only met her like once or twice, maybe or whatever. But super nice lady, I tell you.
Yeah, and I was going to ask about From, because all the actors, they do Shaw Theater, they do a lot of Shakespeare. You do theater. I didn't know if you knew anybody in there in the cast.
No, well, I mean, this is shot out east, is it not? Like out in Toronto or something?
Yeah.
See, this is the stupid thing about Canada.
You're in Vancouver. You're in the other side.
No, but here's the thing. It's all about tax breaks, okay? Because this is serious. Because I pay my taxes in British Columbia, I'm not a tax write-off for any production in any other province.
Okay. Oh,
so
really?
They can't use me as a tax write-off. So that's the problem, is we don't get a ton of I mean, the really popular actors, sure, they go back and forth, no problem. But the character actors like me, not as much, because again, they can't use me as a tax write-off. So it's cheaper for them to get a local actor. Whereas in the States, it doesn't matter. You can go anywhere in the country and work. But I literally am restricted by that in my own country.
Wow.
It's terrible.
Is there a Shakespeare festival in Vancouver?
There is. Yeah, it's called Bard on the Beach. Yeah.
Because I know you did some theater roles of Shakespeare.
Yeah. Well, I've done a fair bit of Shakespeare back in the day, but it's tough to do, like, when you commit to theater, because, like, if you're doing theater, like, you can't really do much filming, if anything.
Yeah.
When I played Sherlock Holmes in an Arts Club theater production here at the Stanley Theater. It's our biggest theater in Vancouver. In 2013, I did that, and it's a comedy takeoff of The Hound of the Baskervilles. It's called Baskerville, and it was hilarious. We sold out, and it was so much fun. It was just ridiculous, silly, farcical things, and it's so much fun. And go Google Baskerville after this. You'll laugh your butts off. You see some segments of it. But we did that for 3 months. So we had 2-3 weeks of rehearsal, and then we opened at the Stanley for 1 month, sold out every night. Then we traveled around the province, mostly the lower mainland, and then out to the, like Kelowna area and stuff, and then back across here. But we finished in a little town called, what was it? It's on the island. We finished in this little tiny town, Courtenay. Finished in little Courtenay, BC. And, but during that time, I basically couldn't do any film. So, and like, theater, you really don't make a lot of money in theater, right? I mean, they let me miss out the first day of rehearsal because I was doing Man in the High Castle, and I made more money in one day in Man in the High Castle than I made, in the first 2 or 3 weeks of rehearsal. So, yeah, that's the thing. But again, it was a marvelous thing. I hadn't done a play in 10 years at that point, and I tell you, still opening night, I was like, with my script on the side of the stage, like just going over the lines, like, oh my God. Do I remember it all? Because, I mean, you're playing Sherlock Holmes. Most of the lines are yours. You know what I mean?
Right.
Anyway.
I know you probably want to go pretty soon. It's getting late, but I did have one more question. Talk about like working with makeup effects, because I know you've done that a lot. So I'm just curious, like, talk about.
It's great. One of my best collaborator friends is Todd Masters from Masters FX. And him and his crew have put a lot of my stuff on my face over the years. Mike Fields and Holland Miller, Lise Kerr, Leanne. Oh gosh, her last name is escaping me. Makeup guys I love. Makeup people I love. Dan Ribert, all these guys, because makeup effects just can transform it. I mean, how many times you go to work in the morning at 3:30, plop in a chair like this, and when you open your eyes, you look like a lizard. And I love working in special effects makeup and whatnot. It's so freeing because it literally helps transform you into that character. Like, I mean, and yes, we're acting, of course, but 99% of the acting is done because all you have to do is live in this suit. You know what I mean? But I'll tell you, it can be very tough and very hot and very challenging and all the above. You know what I mean? Like, I remember one time this is kind of a silly side story, but we were being transported from one set to another, and we had to go through a town. And we were in Langley, and there was a police incident, and this cop was waving traffic along, and he looks down, and he went like this for his gun because he was shocked, scared, because here I am in full lizard outfit, like smiling at him, right? Yeah.
He probably thought there was a reptilian uprising.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He did. He was standing there, and he just glanced, and he grabbed for his gun. And I'm like, "It's okay, buddy. Calm down." You know, like, yeah. But no, it's super fun working in makeup. I love it because I think it completely frees you up as an actor. Like, you can become anyone. In that one episode of Stargate: Beast of Burden, I played, I think, 8 characters, and one of which was a female waitress, Unas, and they gave me little reptilian bosoms, and I served Michael Shanks a drink, and just happens, like, he said thank you, and in my little weird lizard character, I sniffed him, and of course the whole nose flexed because it's sealed, right? And it just like, and Martin Wood was directing, goes, "Oh, beauty, nice, do that again, beauty," So little things come up like that. So yeah, it's a ton of fun.
It sounds like you've had a lot of like success with all your improv, like the way you just kind of naturally just add yourself into the role. That sounds like you've had a lot of success with that.
Yeah, but I think I allow myself to like inhabit the role, and that's the thing, is that's our job. Our job is to inhabit the role. I'll be quite frank, I don't think about, oh, well, will the producer be mad at me or this? I'll tell you, this is a great thing for young actors, and you get inspiration for a character. When you get inspiration for your character, when you start to do it, listen to the first things, because they're usually right, and just stick with it and go. Do not worry about, oh, I got to do this because my agent said this, or I have to the casting director, I got to think about her, and I know the producer likes this, and blah blah blah. Because it's like making a copy. In the old days when we had VHS tapes, making a copy of a copy of a copy, because you're diminishing your inspiration if you're worrying about all this stuff. So by the time, if you worry about all these characters and the producers and the director and the writer, and you're going to end up with just white fuzz snow. There's no character left. And I said this before to students, and they're like, "Oh, wow, that's cool." Now that they don't know what a VHS tape is, I don't know what I'm going to do. But anyway, you know what I mean? Like, but that's the thing. It's like, stay true to what your character is and just go for it. I did one time in an audition. I was rehearsing with a friend of mine, Michelle Harrison, for this role. And I was playing a guy who would infuse his body with the DNA of other animals, and I could have the speed of a cheetah and like a lizard tongue and the eye of an eagle. And at one point, she says something, and I like roared like this, like cheetah, and I jumped off the chair. I was sitting, I had been sitting. I jumped up and over the chair at her, like rah, and I said whatever the line was, and she goes, "Do that in the audition." So I went into this audition. It was for Las Luchadoras, this show. And, one season, fun kids show about guys and the superheroes and the wrestling masks or whatever. And I did that. And there was 12 or 13 network execs, because they were right down to the wire. And I just turned and jumped over the chair. And all 13 just, jumped back. And they were like, "Whoa, good job. But I mean, just be truthful. I taught a class a while ago, and this guy says, he was talking about his audition. He goes, "Well, I know that the character I'm in the scene with, she's the number one, so I have to support her journey and what she's doing and whatever." And I went, "What? What do you mean you have to support her? No, you aren't there. Your character is there." So he was worrying about like her being the number one on the show and appeasing her ego and this and that. And I went, that's got nothing to do with it. Like, if you're worrying about that, you're not acting. Acting is living truthfully under imaginary circumstances.
I like
Absolutely. That. I like that a lot.
I do too. You guys got anything else you want to ask Scarlet? Haven't heard from you a little bit. You got anything else you want to ask?
Yeah, sure.
Scarlet?
I'll ask one more here. What do you do in your spare time? If you have any.
What is? Yeah, exactly. No, my wife and I love to go snowboarding. We love to travel.
Nice.
It's been tough this year. Like, we've had virtually no snow in our local mountains, which is really terrible. There was climate change is real, kids. Let me just say this. Like, people are we have 3 local hills. I've gone to Mount Seymour for like 25, 30 years. In the last couple, 2-3 years, there's been virtually no snow to speak of, unfortunately. And so we normally go snowboarding. We have fun. Saturday nights, this is funny. It might sound funny, but we go to our friend's place. We order food and we play cards. I know it sounds like so old school, but that's what I did growing up with my family. We always play cards, and we love it. We play a thing called Contract Rummy, so we do that. Yeah, my wife and I went to the day off. We went to the gym today. We have a little black dachshund named Cooper, and we take Cooper out on walks, and we play with him. And just the hallway outside that door, it's about a 30-foot hallway, and I got special industrial carpet for him to race up and down, chasing balls and toys and alligators and hippopotamuses and whatever. So, yeah, we do that and hang out with our friends.
Do you have anything else you want to ask Jenn? And then I have one more. It's okay if you don't. I just wanted to make sure I gave you a chance before.
No, he's answered so many of the questions that I had. So you can go, Jamie. By all means.
Do you have any school spirits ones, so we can have school spirits?
Sure. Yeah, school spirits.
I do. Mine was so. I have a couple. So when you did the first reading for school spirits, was there a specific cliffhanger in the mystery that made you say, I need to do this show. This is an amazing teen drama. I want to be there.
You know what? When I read the script, they didn't give me the script at first. I just had the sides and the character description, the story description. And I thought, this is great. This is because, I mean, like I told you, my ghost stories, right? So, I noticed it's getting dark outside, so I'm going to put a little bit of light on. There we are. Ooh, there we go. But no, I just love the first script. And Max Winkler directed the first pilot episode, son of Henry Winkler, the Fonz, who hung me in an episode of The Dead Man's Gun when Max was 10 years old. And I reminded him of that on set, and he was like, get out of here. So anyway, but no, I just thought the scripts are great. All the scripts are really good. That's the thing. There's been no stinkers. There's been no, weak scripts. And I'm looking, like, you've got a shot of Peyton up there and Milo and Christian. Everybody's awesome. Rainbow, Spencer, like, everybody's so good. Like, just they're great, nice people. They do it. They do well in the show. They do well in real life. They're good people. Like Nick and oh gosh, please, Yuri. Milo? No.
Oh, Yuri's real name. Scarlet, do you know Yuri's real name?
I was going to say, you're making me one.
Miles Wally.
Yeah. Miles. Thank you. Yeah, Miles. Everybody's wonderful. Everybody is wonderful. And Sarah and just, I can't emphasize it enough. Like, going to work is a complete pleasure. Peyton's among the nicest people you'll ever meet, and she's so kind and generous and giving and back and forth. That's the thing. School Spirits is literally, I'll put it this way, if this is the last show I ever do in my career, I would be super happy.
That's awesome to hear. It really is.
I did want to ask you, though, is there anybody, like, specifically you want to work with? Assuming this isn't your last show.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Back in the day, like, I read, I mean this sincerely, I read this book, The Ragman's Son by Kirk Douglas. It was his autobiography, right? And he was an immigrant son, and, my grandfather was an immigrant, and just, it really resonated with me, like his sort of, not struggle, but life, I guess, struggle, whatever. And I always thought I'd love to work with Kirk Douglas, rather. And he's the only person I've ever written a fan letter to. and I wrote a fan letter to him back in the day. I don't think I ever got a response, but I didn't really expect one. But I flew back from Europe. I was traveling on the world when I was like a kid, like 20, and I read the book on the way home on the plane. I just read it. I just couldn't put it down. I read for 10 hours or whatever it was. So yeah, I would have loved to work with Kirk Douglas, but today, I'd love to work with, weirdly enough, maybe Kirk Russell, Morgan Freeman. I worked with Kevin Costner, Annette Bening, and Robert Duvall, so I've kind of got a big hunk covered there. But no, I want to work with good people that are dedicated and do good scripts and care about it. And Braden, we've got this thing coming up that we're going to do with Karen Conoval and others, and I'm really looking forward to that because it's a passion project. It's a low budget thing we're doing. Nobody's making big money off it or anything, or virtually nothing. We're doing it because the script is so appealing. So yeah, I want to work with those guys in the next month. I'm going to film that first weekend in April. We do a 5-day shoot over a weekend.
And what's that called? I didn't
hear you say what's
Follow
the Path.
Follow the Path.
All right.
All
right. Oh, I know we've kept them for like 90 minutes.
No, it's okay. I'm a chatty Kathy.
That's okay, but we appreciate you staying so long. It's been a lot of fun.
Thanks,
but yeah, we'll see you, I guess, next week in the finale, or not next week, in a couple days. We talk about days.
Well, I guess I know what Shannon and I are doing tonight. Binge.
There you go. All right.
I'm watching from
an eye out for that.
Yeah. Try for.
Well, it's been a pleasure. Right. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and then thanks for watching the show.
Yes, thanks. And everybody, please make sure you like the video, hype it if you can, subscribe to the channel, and check out our Discord as well. And we will see you all Thursday at 11 for our regularly scheduled School Spirit show. But we also will see you, of course, tomorrow at 10 Eastern for our Fandom Access show. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Yeah, come play bingo with us on Thursday.
Yeah, come play bingo.
I'm just going to get my dog. You guys, I'll stay right here.
Okay.
All right.